Among the ASEAN banks, there is obviously a need for financial inclusion, right? I mean, there are markets in the ASEAN region that would still need a lot of growth in the banking sector, particularly from account opening to originations as well. And we think that this would still present a huge opportunity for banks, especially as they want to look at growing their business or their foothold in the region, and it's still very important for them. Financial inclusion continues to be one of the leading needs of the ASEAN region in the first place. The other thing that we think is very important is the ability to decide based on data. The ASEAN region would still have challenges in being able to provide good quality data to those who need to make decisions based on those data. It is the lack of data that is probably a hindrance to our adoption of advanced analytics leading up to artificial intelligence. Yeah, I mean, regulator will really have to be involved, I think, in being able to facilitate a discussion among the banks that they regulate about how we are going to use these very powerful technologies. What we are saying at IDC is that this needs to be an industry-wide discussion. That's why we put this really, really high on our agenda, to have a discussion that is thoughtful, but also forward-looking about what implications would these new technologies have on financial services in general, right? This would have implications, obviously, to the way that we decide things that are also quite important for customers. We as financial institutions will now need to look at what are the automated decisions that we will be making that will really impact our customers to approve a loan, or to be able to extend a credit line to those in need, or to have very good and meaningful conversations with our customers when they need it. These are the times that we think would be very good for the industry to define what are the terms of our use of artificial intelligence in financial services. Just before we scale up the use of artificial intelligence in our world, we really need to define together as an industry how we should use them in the first place. There is a lot of fear in our industry about what impact this would have on our jobs, but we're quite positive about all these new tools and technologies that are being used by financial institutions to be able to improve financial services. By improve, we mean our capability to deliver good products to our customers, to engage with our customers better, but also to make decisions better are now possible in financial services. There are a lot of things that were quite difficult to do or simply impossible to do in the past, and we did not do them because of these reasons. With these advancements of technology, we think that there are a lot more things that are, in fact, humanly possible in financial services. The challenge, I think, and this is a real challenge that we've seen in our clients already, is that we gain a lot of these capabilities in a very short period of time. Even last year, we would not have those capabilities for machine learning or AI, but suddenly they're available to us. There is a temptation for a lot of our banks, or a lot of our insurance companies, to play around with data too much or to be too creative with the insights that they have, particularly because they've never had this before, right? So they've never had practice in or experience in being able to deal with these new insights and new discoveries about the customer. So there is a temptation to do too much with the insights, and therefore this might have an impact to customer experience. What we fear is that the customers might turn off very quickly from engaging with the bank because the bank has become too freaky in a way in terms of knowing me too much and acting on decisions that I do not need them to make decisions on. We welcome the advancement of technology. Obviously, the advanced analytics being used now, artificial intelligence being used now, is something that we really welcome because this allows us to do things that were simply impossible to do before. However, as we use these technologies and as they scale us up in ways that we've never imagined, we do have a temptation to do things that are unnecessary or sometimes unethical or against customer centricity principles. So we need to have a approach to technology that is balanced, but is also obviously more consumer focused. We need to understand that the banking of the future will really need to be integrated to the life of the customer, right? And you not do banking separate from your need to do payments or separate from your day-to-day life. The point here is that financial services really needs to be part of the life of the customer. And therefore, we need to start thinking about things beyond money or finances. We need to think about lifestyle for the person. We need to think about the mood of the person, intent of the person, in terms of what he or she wants to do with his or her money. These are humanistic type of considerations. So what we're saying is that we're bringing the human, more customer-focused element in financial services. When we start talking about what the customer actually needs or what is the context of the customer, there would be only a few people in the organization who would get the customer, primarily because as bankers we're essentially left-brain people, right, who would be good in logical and numbers and quantitative fields. But sometimes we might have forgotten that we're also dealing with humans, and therefore we need to think about the humanistic elements of emotions, personality, behavior, as well as preferences of customers, right? So we need to bring in those right-brain creative discipline. Because of the lack of practice, I think, in financial services about thinking about the humans, we probably need to be able to bring in all these creative elements into our organization as well. By creative elements, we probably are talking about the fintech players who probably have a good grasp of what humans of the future actually need, not only in financial services, but also in terms of lifestyle services too. So this ability to gain access to different type of personality and to help them, and to help us define how exactly we're going to change financial services to be more humanistic.